Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You are tuned into Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News Radio, CNBC News Radio, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, Audible, Amazon Music, and more. Because this is a show about hope and happiness. And so I'd like to extend as far as possible. 5 million homes is where this AM signal reaches. Over 100 nations in the streaming apps. And on my YouTube channel, of course, the collection of over 550 shows and over a 490 consecutive week period. So yes, I'm kind of here to stay. And I'm so delighted to tell you that since I've been promoted up into the morning show, the numbers are so good that I am the number one talk show in the 8 a.m. slot here in the Inland Empire, and only second to Bill Handel all over Southern California. So thank you so much for continuing to support this show and this message, because I really, really want to balance out all the bad news out there with good news and how we can feel better about ourselves, about our lives, about the world, about politicians, about police, about your neighbor, about anybody that's talking about anything, instead of focusing only on those things that the producers of the shock talk or the if it bleeds, it leads stations, you know who they are. I used to call CNN constantly negative news. Because you will get the negative news if you wake up in the morning and turn anything on. I'm not going there. If you turn any channel on, you're going to get something negative about the environment, some natural catastrophe. You're going to get a negative news bit about some politician or celebrity, and you're going to get a negative what the shooting, killing, robbing, the worst about humanity. Those are guaranteed 3 categories of news that you will normally hear. And in case you think that that's the only thing happening, there's gazillion, how's that for a technical term, things happening around the world that are actually good. And so I made a decision when I first got on the air that this was a show about hope and happiness, and I was going to bring you as much as possible, all the good news, even when it's bad news, and finding a way to look at the bad news, like when we were talking about the Salon Beach shooting, how to heal from grief, how to feel better. That's the question of the day almost every day. How do I feel better now? So that's what this show is about, in case you just popped in and wondered who was talking. And I am Dr. Marissa. I'm actually an organizational psychologist by education. I'm a retired professor. I taught at UCLA in the MBA school, Boston University, European Business School. And I actually got my start in media from one of my MBA students at Anderson, who after class came up to me and said, your talents are being wasted here behind the podium. My dad's a producer and he's doing these specials, and how would you like to be part of that? And I think the first show was it was pretty close. It was a while back, so that's my memory. One was Busted on the Job, which I'm not as proud of, by Fox Channel, and it was why people do weird things at work. And then the ABC Discovery Channel special was called Totally Out of Control People, which was a little bit better. Still a little what's wrong with people, but, it was a process. So if you happen to hear my voice, some people will say, you woke me up on Saturday morning. You were in my bedroom. And before you go there, it's because they replay those shows over the holidays. I think another one that was just played, Hunting for the Lost Symbol. Another one was UFOs. Another one was the Scientific Inquiry or Scientific. Oh, I do have photographic memory, but I'm out of disk space. It was Nostradamus, a Scientific Inquiry. That's what it was. So if you happen to hear my voice on Saturday morning, you'll know why, or over the holiday weeks. And since then, I have just continued to lend my name and my voice and my persona more so for things that are positive, more so for things that are good. Did you know that the level of violence among humankind is at an all-time low? So no, you didn't know that. You wouldn't know that if you start the morning scrolling, which I encourage you not to do, because it's the producers, and it's not all media's fault. I have to just, say something right here. It's not the fault of the media, because they put on what we want to hear or see. And so because we are drawn like a moth to a flame to explosive, horrible, worst case scenario things, then we get shown those things. And if you saw that, what was that movie that looked at how we are being manipulated by what we are interested in, and how that becomes, what we're sold. And, you just think about buying a pair of shoes, and all of a sudden all these ads of pairs of shoes and the kind you like, all of a sudden you're bombarded by that. That is artificial intelligence that is very intelligent, but it is being used by the consumerism, capitalism. I'm not against capitalism. You've seen my accessories, and I like designer stuff, but I am saying the extreme of that, where we are just about buying the latest thing to make us feel good, and then being manipulated by artificial intelligence so that we're constantly just looking and seeing things that we could buy. That's not a good balance. That's why I always say it's about balance. Peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace, because balance is a magic word. So I'm here to put in front of you some things to think about, some things to talk about, some things to choose to ponder, because I want you to claim your birthright to be happy 88% of the time. All right. And the first person to tell me why I use 88% on my happy 88 mission, 88 million more happy people in the next 8 years. I'm not going to tell you why 8's so special. First person to go to drmarissa.life and tell me what 8, the number 8, is a homonym for, will get a free copy of 8 Ways to Happiness from wherever you are, my best-selling book, audiobook narrated by yours truly. All right? All right. So today is October the 19th, and it is the day of, okay, here's your foodie. This is your excuse to have National Seafood Bisque Day. National Seafood Bisque Day. And I love seafood bisque. So if you like seafood bisque, or even better, if you've never tried it, I'm all about the deliciousness of life. So go and try some seafood bisque and see if you like it. All right? So what else day is it? It's World Pediatric Bone and Joint Day. So I'm not a pediatric, but I am a double hip replacement person. So I'm all about healthy joints, and I, for some reason, was not born with healthy joints. And my doctor, still to this day, Dr. Bland, who I raised 2 kids in Seal Beach, and he was my favorite doctor. Didn't help that he was easy on the eyes. But he was shocked when the x-rays came back and the MRI on my hips, because he goes, "You're too young, you're too active, there's no way you need a hip replacement." And sure enough, I still have that voicemail where he left it and said, "I'll be darned." That's not exactly what he said, but I had a level 9 bone on bone 90-year-old grandmother kind of hip, and I'm grateful to medical science for my 2 new hips don't lie, hip hip hooray. And so that is celebrating World Pediatric Bone and Joint Day. So for all of those kids who are experiencing some temporary problems in those joints, I know that you're going to have a great experience if you're looking at a hip replacement or a knee replacement. It's amazing what medical science has done. Hint, hint, go get a vaccine. It is also LGBT Center Awareness Day. And a couple days back was Coming Out Day. If you are not comfortable in your body or your gender orientation, don't be uncomfortable. You know, there's a lot of people you can talk to now. It's a lot easier to come out. It's a lot easier to embrace your gender difference. And I have my own kids to thank for cluing me in on how to value diversity when it comes to LGBTQ plus, because just because you're not in the majority, or just because it's quote unquote not normal, that doesn't mean you're not normal. Everybody is normal. Everybody is of value. Everybody has a one of a kind wonderful. So what else day is it? It is Evaluate Your Life Day. Yes, evaluate your life day. Because, I always say when I'm interviewing people, I don't have an answering machine. I have a questioning machine. And when you call it, it says, "Who are you and what do you want?" And I want you to ask and answer that question, if you haven't already, during this pause called the pandemic, to really ask and find out, and not go back to normal as the temptation is, and get back into that rat race or dog eat dog, or climb, step on people and, get exhausted again doing, women who do too much, men who do too much, and just in that crazy hamster wheel. Before you go back there, please, 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 let's do an evaluation. Who are you? And what do you want? When we come back on Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It, Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News, KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And we're back. You're tuned into Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It, Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News Channel, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere, including my YouTube channel that houses all 550, I believe, 2 shows. It could be more than that. But all of that, please go free subscribe. You'll get an alert every morning at 8 when the new show drops, as well as my red carpet playlist with fabulous people like Halle Berry, John Travolta, Quincy Jones, and more. So that's my commercial. I already did the Asian Oprah giveaway earlier. I do want to spotlight again a wonderful organization that has been one of my show sponsors for 5 years now. I've been their Chinese Spotlight film sponsor for the last 5 years. I get to go introduce the Chinese Spotlight film, which this year is the latest film from Academy Award nominated director Yimou Zhang, called 1 Second. And I usually get to introduce the film before the lights go down, and then we party like there's no tomorrow at the Pacific Showcase with always my favorite, the lion dancers. There's drummers, there's dancers. It's amazing. So I think and the tickets are not cheap. So the Asian Oprah giveaway bonus today is the first person to go to drmarissa.life and put in Chinese Spotlight will get that pair of tickets. And that is for the after party. The film and after party is on October 27th. That's next week at 8:15. The after party is at 10. And all of this is in Newport Beach, California. So if you're local, you want to win those tickets. And if you don't want to take a chance and miss out on tickets, you actually get a $5 discount if you use China21, which is my discount code. Just tell them Dr. Marissa sent you. China21 at NewportBeachFilmFestival.com. If you go to the program, click down on October 27th, go to the film 1 Second, and buy the tickets. Just use China21 and you will get that discount. All right? And here's the little promo that goes with this personal endorsement. Enjoy. The 22nd Annual Newport Beach Film Festival is back to in-person screenings. Orange County's largest entertainment event will run from October 21st to October 28th. This prestigious multicultural event attracts over 58,000 attendees and screens over 350 films in 7 days. Join Dr. Marissa, yours truly, on October 27th as the Asian Oprah will be on the red carpet to introduce the highly anticipated 3-time Academy Award nominated Chinese Spotlight film, 1 Second. Celebrate diversity and art in cinema by being a part of the Newport Beach Film Festival and get your tickets at www.newportbeachfilmfest.com. That's www.newportbeachfilmfest.com. See you there. So here's a Happy 88 tool on helping you evaluate your life. And that is, how are you defining yourself? Are you allowing other people to define you by describing yourself as a mother, a friend, a daughter, an employer, an employee, a cousin, all of those are good. There's nothing wrong with defining yourself in terms of your role in life, but those are all relational roles. In fact, if you're a perfectionist like me and you want to be good at everything, those roles can take you down, because the more roles you add on, the more hamster wheels you are on, the more you're trying to be the perfect mom or the perfect daughter or the perfect employer, whatever that is, perfect volunteer, the more chances you're going to be exhausted running on those hamster wheels, running and running and running and trying to make yourself look good or feel good about yourself and your roles. So my advice that I actually do use comes from 8 Ways to Happiness from Wherever You Are. And in chapter 8, Out of Control into Happiness, I actually have an exercise called the Core of Who I Am. And you take a circle, you divide it into lots of little pie pieces or spokes on a wheel, and you begin to define yourself not in your roles, which are all relational definitions. They describe who you are in terms of your relationship to someone or something. These are core definitions. So I promise you, if you get in touch and you evaluate yourself and your life and begin to see yourself in the core of who you are. So I'm almost positive that everybody that's listening right now is a caring person. Maybe not all the time, but you're a caring person. You're a loving person. You're a funny person. You're a creative person. You are a fun-loving person. So that those are all adjectives and qualities that are who we are, at the core of who we are. And it's interesting how when we begin to define ourselves that way and we evaluate ourselves in the good, bad, and the not so, no, the good, bad, and the beautiful is what I call it. Yes, you have some things that you don't like, but most of the things, if you choose to see all those things that are good with you, guess what? Then all those things that are good with you begin to come to the surface even more. You know, and you're no longer looking for love in all the wrong places. Do you like me? Do you like me? Do you like me? You like yourself. And that's what evaluating yourself in the positive light of life and the positive light of love, that's what life and happiness and the joyride of life is all about. Okay? There's your little pep talk for today's question of the day. How do I feel better? And celebrating Evaluate Your Life Day, which is why the rest of this show is going to spotlight a really great interview with two people who are tremendous motivational speakers, motivational coaches, motivational leaders who have spent their lifetime, especially Bob Proctor, who started decades ago. I was at his, I believe, 50 years of doing what he's doing and getting an award for it in New York in that spectacular Carnegie Hall, honoring his work. And I was there covering it as well as interviewing, and he agreed to come on the show with my big brother, Michael Bernard Beckwith. So because it's Evaluate Your Life Day, I am giving you some great expert help in doing that. We're going to have the spotlight interview, the amazing Bob Proctor, and even more amazing, my big brother, Michael Bernard Beckwith, who is my teacher. Those of you who don't know, I found him he's the founder of Agape International Spiritual Center. I found him February 22nd, 2009, but who's counting? And I was miserable. I look good on the outside, but I was miserable on the inside. And he was the one who taught me how to begin the excavation from the inside out. And he's known for not creating followers. It's not a cult, but he creates leaders. And I'm grateful to be one of them as I continue to do my thing and to help anyone who wants it be happier than they currently are. So in order to answer the question of the day, which is, how is my life going? That's Life Evaluation Day, October the 19th. That's what we're going to do when we come back. Bob Proctor and Michael Bernard Beckwith when we come back on Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It, Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And we're back. You're tuned into Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It, Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, Audible, Amazon Music, and more. Because I'm on a happy 88 mission, 88 million more happy people in the next 8 years. And today is Evaluate Your Life Day. Two experts that are going to help you evaluate your life. Their names are Bob Proctor and Michael Bernard Beckwith. Those of you who don't know Bob Proctor's name, well, you must be very young because he's been motivating and helping people evaluate their lives for many, many decades. I believe it was 50 years that I got to celebrate at Carnegie Hall with him. And I was just delighted that he agreed to come on the show. And my big brother, Michael Bernard Beckwith, who helped me evaluate my life. They both are phenomenal in their words of wisdom. So I wanted to bring them to you. Couldn't think of a better time than today, October 19th, Evaluate Your Life Day. So, without further ado, here's the spotlight interview with two giants in helping people evaluate their lives and motivate them to the best person they can be. Here's Bob Proctor and Michael Bernard Beckwith, who you may have seen on The Ellen Show just lately. Enjoy.
The first is Bob Proctor, the Dean of Prosperity and Abundance Teachings, shows people how to understand their hidden abilities to do more, be more, and have more in every area of life. His teachings are primarily based on Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, and his delivery is second to none. For more than 55 years, Bob Proctor has focused his entire agenda around helping people create lush lives of prosperity, rewarding relationships, and spiritual awareness. As one of the world's most highly regarded speakers on prosperity, he is internationally known for his inspirational and motivational style. He's been interviewed on CNN by Larry King and on the Ellen DeGeneres Show, and will be on CNN Espanol later this month. And the second, Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith, no stranger to my show since he is my big brother, is the founder and spiritual director of the Agape International Spiritual Center in Los Angeles, which is celebrating its 30th year. 3 of his most recent books, Life Visioning, Spiritual Liberation, and Transcendence Expanded, are recipients of the prestigious Nautilus Award. Beckwith has appeared on Super Soul Sunday just recently, Dr. Oz, again, the Oprah Show, Larry King Live, Tavis Smiley, and his own PBS special, The Answer Is You. He's part of Oprah Winfrey's inaugural Super Soul 100. A sought-after speaker and meditation teacher, Michael's been the recipient of numerous humanitarian awards. Every Friday at 1 PST, thousands tune to his radio show on KPFK. Wake up. The sound of transformation. Please welcome two brilliant, fabulous men in my life, Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith and Bob Proctor.
Good day to you, Marissa. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Marissa. Good to be here with you and Michael.
Absolutely. And congratulations to you, Bob. One of the reasons I brought you on is because you are getting a fabulous tribute at Carnegie Hall in New York next month for your many years of work. And I was just corrected. I thought you were 81, but you are 82. So you're a very good-looking 82. You must use oil of Olay.
I don't hang around with old people, Doctor.
Well, it shows.
Yeah, that's good advice.
Don't hang around with old people. Well, I love that saying, you don't stop laughing because you grow old. You grow old because you stop laughing. Yeah. So we do a lot of laughing here. Being the best that we can be, seeing prosperity not as money is the root of all evil, which is what I understand your message has been around, Bob, for 50-some years, that it is okay to be prosperous, rich, abundant, and that kind of flies against some of the belief systems or the BS around spirituality, or we shouldn't talk so much about money. So let's hit that one.
Well, I think the problem with money is a problem, same with a lot of things. The real problem is ignorance. Money is is not a problem. The lack of it's a problem. With some people, too much of it's a problem. But money's merely an instrument, and it's only used for 2 things. One is to make you comfortable, and the more comfortable you are, the more creative you can become. And the second is to extend the good you do far beyond your own presence. I have found that money will just make you more of what you already are. If you're not a nice person, you'll probably become despicable if you get enough of it. And if you are a nice person, you're going to become a nicer person because you're going to be able to do more good. So I see money as an instrument, and I think people don't understand money. Money is a reward received for service rendered, and it's an instrument that will enable you to extend the service you render far beyond your own presence. I'm all for earning all the money you can, and then put it to work. I've been living in the same house for over 30 years. I have no desire to get a bigger, a better house. I like it here. I'm comfortable here. I'm into supporting Cynthia Kersey in her endeavors of building schools in Africa, and we now build a school every week and a half. I want to get to the point we can build one every day, and without money, we wouldn't be able to do that. So I see money as a great instrument, and that's all it is. It enables you to extend the good you do beyond your own presence. It doesn't make you a better person. It makes you more of what you already are.
Beautiful. Michael? Reverend Michael?
Well, absolutely. You know, Bob and I have been in this conversation for years, and Bob, its articulation of the prosperity principles are second to none on the planet. And I would agree with him that money is a promissory note, is a promise that energy is going to be circulated. So whenever there's an exchange of money, you're exchanging energy. You're saying in substance, if I go buy a loaf of bread, that means I'm giving energy to the individual that's selling me the bread, that he can take that energy and send his kids to school. They can go on to college. I mean, money is to be circulated, and we have to stop and understand that there's no lack of prosperity or abundance or opulence anywhere in the universe. That's a myth. It's a lie. It's a lie of scarcity. And so when one begins to understand that they're standing in the middle of a sea of abundance and infinite opportunities, infinite possibilities, and begin to think creatively, then money follows, or energy follows, or opportunity follows. So money isn't the root of all evil. When years ago, when religious folks began to take vows of poverty, it wasn't about being poor. It was about not allowing money to be your God, so that service would be your God. I mean, Mother Teresa, as an example, took a vow of poverty, but she raised millions of dollars to do the work she needed to do to feed the poor and to feed those and to take care of those who were sick and impoverished. She needed money to do so. So though money wasn't her God in terms of, as Bob was saying, buy her bigger mansions and 20 cars and being materialistic, she still had the consciousness of raising a lot of money to do the work she needed to do. Yeah. I'm the founder of Agape International. I have many ministries, many programs, many projects. I have global philanthropy. I do work with Cynthia Kersey, who emerged out of Agape. And we raise money. We attract money. We bring money into Agape so that we can extend the work that we do for others. I, like Bob, I've lived in the same house for many years. And I'm not materialistic. I have a car that's paid for. I haven't bought a new car every year. The car's 10 years old. It runs pretty good. When it doesn't work,
the Tesla's coming. Tesla's coming.
The Tesla's coming. Okay, somebody wants to donate a Tesla to me, I will receive it. I have no problem in being receptive to my good. But there's nothing wrong inherently with money.
Right.
It's materialism. Consumerism can become evil. And individuals who are greedy and stingy, who hoard money, who don't let it circulate into good works, that can become evil. There are individuals that I know that are very, very unhappy people, and very wealthy, according to human standards, but very unhappy. They're afraid to circulate one nickel towards anyone that will help anyone, and they're very unhappy people. So as Bob was saying, if you're on the curve of becoming a better person, you're growing, developing, and unfolding, money's going to assist that, and it's going to assist you in helping others. And if you're on the curve of not knowing yourself, being ignorant of your real identity, and you're in a consciousness of lack, even if you get a lot of money, you'll be a poor person with a lot of money, and you'll end up despising your life. And so I have no problems with money. Bring it on. I'm receptive.
Right.
You know, we had I was having a conversation one day with Mikey Steller, who in our marketing director of our company, and a couple come up in conversation. And she said, you know, they're the poorest people I know. All they have is money.
All they have is money.
Yeah, it is.
The problem with money is we don't teach people how to earn money. You can go all the way through our educational system and learn absolutely nothing about earning money.
Okay.
It's we're taught how to save it, we're taught how to invest it, but we're not taught how to earn it. And so you have brilliant people going around and they don't know how to earn money. Money is a reward for service rendered. The amount of money you earn is always in direct ratio to the need for what you do, your ability to do it, and the difficulty there is in replacing you. Mm-hmm. But you take nothing with you. When you leave much the same way you come. I always say you leave with no hair, no teeth, no money. That's how you arrive.
And I would go a step further, Bob. I would even say within our school system, they don't even teach you how to save and invest money or how to open a bank account or any of that. People graduate from high school and know nothing about the law of circulation. They know nothing about the law of receptivity. They know nothing about the law of correspondence. They know nothing about the law of saving and investing. They get it. If they go to college, oftentimes they know nothing after they graduate from college. It's not a part of our educational system. And it's
there's so many people operate with limited supply. I love the way Troward put it in his essay on Spirit of Opulence. He says, when you're dealing with infinite, you can never take more than your share. There's abundance for everyone.
Right.
It's inexhaustible. It's inexhaustible.
Yeah. But then why are there so many people, and maybe this is a perception, but I meet so many spiritually minded people who are broke, or they continue to affirm their brokenness, or I can't afford that, or I can't do that, or I don't have enough money this month.
Don't understand what they're saying generally.
Mm-hmm. And then you have the other end, people like Donald Trump, who has the appearance of so much money, and you that whole perception around corporate greed, and the nasty people or the mean people have all the money, have all the wealth. That disparity of the have and the have-nots, or good people who deserve to have or work hard and then they get their pensions all taken away, or what is that? What is all of that stuff?
Well, you threw a lot of things into one question, Marissa.
Thank you.
Generally speaking, whether you're spiritual or whatever, so many people do not understand the laws of the universe. Mm-hmm. They don't understand their conversation. They don't understand the power of their word. They don't understand the power of their thinking. So they may love God and whatever concept of God that they have very little understanding about the magnitude of the abundance that surrounds us. And how they've made an agreement with mediocrity that money is a lot of money makes you evil and nasty. So they have to break that particular agreement with that mediocre thinking, understand the laws of the universe, and begin to manifest the money that they need in order to do the will of God, in order to do a greater expression of light. Everyone doesn't need to be a multi-millionaire. Everybody has a different vision, different gift, different talents, different capacities for service, but they can demonstrate what it is that they need to be their authentic self. Mm-hmm. Now, of course, if you're talking about individuals that you've just mentioned, the media always gravitates towards the lowest common denominator of the human experience and the grossest experience that we can find. So naturally, we would be saddled with all of these individuals who are nasty and mean and have a lot of money because it brings people to the television sets. Mm. But there are many people who are very philanthropic, many people who have millions of dollars who live to give, who generate a lot of money, support spiritual communities, support school systems, support all manner of efforts. But you don't really hear about these people because many times they're not run by their ego. Mm-hmm. But they're doing good work. But you would hear about individuals who are in politics because you have to have a big ego to even be at that level of run a country, you see.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's great. That's great. Thank you. That actually answered all of mine, all of my myriad of questions. And if you've just tuned in and you're wondering who the two fabulous men on my camera are and in my studio today. It is Bob Proctor, and he is a master coach. He's a prosperity teacher. He's been doing this forever. And Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith, founder of Agape International Spiritual Center, also known as my big brother. And they are here sharing their wisdom to add to my wisdom series. You'll remember the show with Neil Donald Walsh and with Don Miguel Ruiz. And we're talking about money. We're talking a little bit about politics. And now I'm going to highlight you, Bob, just for a second, and talk about who would you say your two most important, influential mentors were in getting you to where you are today. And Michael, that'll come to you as well in the next question.
Well, actually, there's more than two. There's three or four.
Okay.
Ray Stanford is the first one. He is a man that I came across in 1961, and he gave me this book. The book has fallen apart now, but I've been reading this book every day now in another 10 days, it'll be 55 years. From October the 21st, 1961, Think and Grow Rich. And then I got into, just packing this up to take with me on the road. This is a recording that Earl Nightingale made. That's a record. On one side, it says Strangest Secret. On the other side, it says To Pay the Price. And I started to listen to this record. I should show you this because this is a bit of an antique as well.
See, aren't you glad I made you do Skype so we had show and tell?
Yeah, here.
And I'm glad kids know what vinyl is now, too.
Can you see this?
Oh, wow. Is that the portable player?
Portable record player.
Wow, that's so cool.
Not long ago, Albert Schweitzer, the great doctor and Nobel Prize winner, was being interviewed in London, and a reporter asked him, "Doctor, what's wrong with men today?" The great doctor was silent a moment, and then he said, "Men simply don't think."
And that is a problem. I got into Think and Grow Rich, and then I got Earl Nightingale's condensed narration of Think and Grow Rich, which led me to that recording, The Strangest Secret. So those two men had a phenomenal impact on my life, and my life changed like night and day, and I couldn't figure out what I had done. I was living in England. I started cleaning offices to earn some extra money. And within a year of reading this and sitting down with Ray, my income had gone from $4,000 to $175,000. I remember when he gave me this book, he said, "If you'll do exactly what I tell you, you can have anything you seriously want." Well, I didn't believe that. I was broke. I was unhappy. No formal education. And I just didn't believe it. But I believed he believed it. And I think that did something to me. And so I started to do exactly what he said. I was living in England. I had open offices in about 7 different cities in Canada and the United States. And I was living over in England, and I had earned over $1 million, and I couldn't figure out what happened. I didn't think I was lucky. I didn't believe in luck. I had been raised to believe if you're going to do really well, you've got to be really smart. I knew I wasn't that smart. I'd also been raised to believe if you don't go to school, you'll never get a good job. I didn't have a good job. I owned the company. And I had only gone to school for 2 months, high school. And so I wanted to know what happened, and I started to study. I ended up going to work with Earl Nightingale and Lloyd Conant, and I met Leland Val Vanderwell and Dr. Harry Roeder. So there's 4 or 5 of them that really shaped me. And it took me 9.5 years, but when I got the dots to connect, all I wanted to do was teach it. And
did they criticize you?
I think we're led down the wrong path. I think we have to understand the essence of who we are. And that's what these people started to teach me. Okay. We are spiritual beings. We are a soul. We don't have one. and the soul is forever seeking its awareness of its oneness with God. So we're always attempting to expand our level of awareness. And I've never stopped studying, and I never will stop studying. I absolutely love to study this. I love to study who we are, and all I want to do is share it. That is my great motivation. When I wake up in the morning, that's what I want to do. And that's all I want to do. I don't want to do anything else. So I've had 4 or 5 people that really had a profound impact on my life. And they helped me begin to understand who I am. But I think it's a process. I don't think you ever get it all put together. I think it's a process. You keep becoming more and more aware. And the more aware you become, I think the more effective you are, the better you're able to share it.
How much of that was them believing in you even though you didn't believe in yourself?
Oh, I think that was an enormous part of it.
Okay.
You see, I think what they do is they lead you to start to believing in yourself. I found there's a couple of things. First of all, everything you study, I don't care, you can get into Bhagavad Gita, the Quran, the Torah, the Bible, all the psychological books, all Hales and Carnegie's, and every place they tell you, you have to believe. And that was really playing on my mind because I was thinking, how do you believe?
Right.
Somebody said, just believe it. Well, how do you believe? Yeah. And I was having lunch with one of my mentors, Leland Valvanderwall. He was a brilliant man. And he's gone now, God bless him, but he sure helped me. And he said something, and like everything fell into place. He said, our belief system is based upon our evaluation of something. And frequently, if we reevaluate a situation, our belief about it will change. Well, most of our beliefs we inherited. We didn't originate them ourselves at all. Most of the beliefs that people have are absolutely absurd.
That's why they're called BS.
They have no foundation whatsoever. And when he said that, I got him to repeat it because it was like bells going off in my head. I suddenly found out how and why I changed. I had changed my belief system about who I was and what I was capable of doing. And I did that through reevaluating who I was. All this material I was studying, I was trying to figure out me. I was trying to figure out who I was. And as I started to reevaluate my belief about myself, my relationship with God or infinite, and my relationship with you, with Michael, with the world in general, shifted completely. And I could see we're all one. There's only one power. And we're all an expression of that power. Everything's an expression of that power. But we're a special expression because we're created in God's image. We've got creative faculties. We're creative beings. So we can do something that no other form of life can do. All the other forms of life have everything we've got except our creative faculties.
Yep.
Well, all the other forms of life are completely at home in their environment. They blend in. We're totally disoriented in our environment, and that is because we've been blessed with the faculties to create our own environment. And unfortunately, too many have not learned that, and they're a product of their environment rather than create their own environment.
Thank you for that, Bob. We're going to have him at the pulpit on Sunday, right from Michael. That was awesome.
You want to come in, Bob? You come in
that was great.
You come in this month. You come in this month, Bob.
Absolutely.
I would love to, Michael, anytime.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to call you when we hang up.
I know, right? And we're going to have to take a quick little break right now.
Interrupt for a second. Michael had me speak at his church one time, and it was the first time I'd been there. And I said that everybody should go there at least once. It was a spiritual experience, the like of which I had never had. It was something very special. And when I got up to the front, he had everybody stand up and put their hands out and send love to me. It changed my whole being. That is, I think, the agape is, without question, one of the most phenomenal centers of spirituality on the planet.
That's
it's certainly the most powerful one I've ever been in.
Oh, thank you, Bob. That's my home, and that's
well,
and that's my
no,
teacher, and
that's not just my thoughts. I think that's the thoughts of a lot of people.
that's beautiful. And
Thank you, Bob.
Wasn't that phenomenal? If you would like to see the rest of that amazing interview with two giants, I'm so grateful that I get to have really special and not easily attainable interviews on my show for 9 years now. I'm so grateful for that. Anyways, if you want to see the rest of that interview, go free subscribe to my YouTube channel, where I still keep everything free so you can enjoy it and have it help with your 88% happiness. And that's it for another fantastic episode of Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It, Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind. And this is Dr. Marissa reporting live from her living room during the pandemic, reminding you that it's all about balance. Peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace. And remember, have the best day ever.